Well, good morning, our beloveds. Another. She's focusing on new points on the horizon, and we, her spirit team, are no longer as important in her journey. For her, this is a blessing in disguise because it means that she is starting to focus on the real world issues versus simply the energetic imprint of where the world finds itself. So what does this mean for the collective? Not a whole lot. Another will continue to channel, to share with less frequency because our message has already infiltrated the masses through her as well as through others. And now you all are being asked to run with your knowledge, your experience, your perspectives, and to implement them, which means that you have been in grade school long enough to learn your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s, and you are now to go out into the workplace, the working world, and to impact the universe through your effort and no longer simply your knowledge. Now, this doesn't mean that we are less involved, but we had shared a number of weeks ago that it's go time from a different perspective. We will no longer hold your hands as much as we did, and we will no longer guide you as much as we did. Think of it simply as you were living at home under the supervision and tutelage and safety of your parents, and you have now moved out into either the dorms or an apartment or some other location where your parents are no longer available to guide you at every moment. Every now and then you might pop in back at home, you may give a call, but as a whole you are now being asked to act on your own with agency without the supervision and direction of your caregivers. You have been primed, primped, prompted, prosecuted, protected, and privileged in certain ways, where now you can go, be, learn through hands-on experience versus head knowledge. When we offer you all insight, it is words and it is the vibration of the words. And you all have now inspired yourselves to become you. We had said when you were on the other side, meaning July through the end of the year, that the ball would be rolling downhill. This means that you have been imprinted with what you need to know. And there will be less guidance from us on how to apply it. Now, this doesn't mean that you cannot give us a call and ask, hey, what do you think? But trust your inner intuition. Lean into what you know to be true and right and authentic for you. It need not be nice or kind necessarily. It needs to be authentically you. And as you wibble and wobble and figure out how to do this, you will course correct. You will get better at it. Keep focusing on the end objective and how you wish to get there, which is authentically. What is your inner vibration? Are you a guru? Are you a warrior? Are you a teacher? Are you a mentor? Are you a lover? A mother? A caregiver? A slime ball? What is at your core essence? These are the archetypes. Lean into that. Lean into what you know to be true. And then take the feedback that you receive from the universe and course correct so you can do it better next time. Maybe figuring out more what your actual archetype is would be helpful. Google. Look at the varying descriptors of what archetypes are. Remember, there is no correct or incorrect list. It is just different shoe boxes or descriptors of what is possible. So no one person has the ultimate and final say. Find what feels good or resonates with you, and then learn more about that archetype and how you can express it or be imprinted with it. And if you have an archetype that you no longer desire, then simply ask the universe to remove that from your imprinting and to find a different one. Sometimes it is possible, and sometimes it is not. You will find out if it is not, because the imprint will still be there. If you are 5'2" and you ask to be 6'9", the reality is you are 5'2", and there's no way to really remove that. However, you could ask for the energy of somebody who is 6'9" to imprint you. So then you would carry both imprints, if that makes sense. Finding you during these times is rather challenging because you have been told who you are and who you are to be. And this is a time of self-reflection and self-exploration and maybe even self-designation. I was told I was to be this, but now I choose to be something different. And I might enjoy it, and I might not. And if I don't, I will simply course correct and go back to the old imprinting or find something new. Do not limit yourself based on your gender, your role within your family, your historical construct, your physical limitations either, unless you align with them. Your cultural identities, your regional prescriptions, your belief systems. Meaning, if you had amnesia today and got to fill your bucket with what you think feels good, you would set aside those old belief systems because they would no longer be a part of you. You get to create who you wish to be and who you don't. Walk away from those people who don't serve you. Walk towards those people with whom you align or identify with. Speak up where you see atrocities that don't feel legal, moral, authentic. Speak up. Clear your throat chakra of the debris and the grime that has built up because you haven't used it. If you were taught to be well-behaved, be less well-behaved. If you were taught to be rude and sarcastic, practice being well-behaved. Find an identity or role that is outside of what you were raised to be and see if that feels authentic. It is uncomfortable oftentimes, but if you say, I am an actor who is applying the skill set to be in the role of this other individual versus this is who I am, you can see if it feels authentic or not. Belittle yourself less, be kind to yourself more, and be authentic, be authentic, be authentic. This is the time. And the more you allow the rock or the pebble or the snowball to roll downhill, the easier you will find this time to be for you. And if you continue to try to hike uphill because you don't like the direction that your life is going, you may find that the resistance creates more stubbornness within you instead of just going with the flow. Allow us to pull you forward right now instead of you designating exactly what you need life to look like. Allow us to come in, trust that we love you, trust that all is well, and trust that the people who are in your life are here for a reason, either to teach you what love is or what it's not. Be kind to yourself, be authentic with others, and allow the haters to fall by the wayside. This is a time where your vibration will be required of you to express itself, because if you don't, you will pop in one form or another, which may include some health issues. So pay attention to those types of things that result from stress or anxiety or being overly pressurized. If you don't speak up and step back from that which is causing you distress, you may find that you experience unnecessary health expressions because you're not allowing the body to remove yourself from those unhealthy circumstances or situations. Look at what your alternative options are, find them, seek them, and pursue them if they feel authentic and right for you. No one has the solution for you except you, because no one else knows what your vibration inside feels like. If someone gives you advice, it's because they would maybe do that in that circumstance, but they don't have your lived history and your wiring. So listen to the suggestions, but don't blindly follow, because what is right for one person may not be right for you. And then just feel the flow, feel the ease, feel the love, and accept that this is where you are meant to be right now, because everything is here to teach you. These times were not meant to be easy, but they were also not meant to be hard. They were simply meant to be challenging and difficult and constructive as it relates to your personal growth. But it was not meant to be hard. So maybe choose a new word, because every time you say life is hard, you will attract more experiences that result in you saying life is hard. So instead, shift to life sure is challenging right now. It's forcing me to grow in ways that I didn't really want to. But I guess I trust that there's some purpose to this, because otherwise I just feel like I'm cursed. Can you feel the difference in those words? It's an acceptance, a resignation that you're going somewhere and it's just not what you would want. Relax into and lean forth into where we are pulling you. And it will not necessarily be easier, but it will no longer be hard. It will be challenging and circumstantial. But your ability to forge new paths can only come when we force you to climb uphill in a way where it just doesn't feel good, i.e. hard. And then you move to a less strenuous route where maybe the challenges differ, but it actually gets you to your end destination and quicker. Finding that your words, the word choice that you use to describe where you find yourself right now for these next 6 months is more important than anything else. Listen to other channelers who are more generic in their applications and find that which serves you. Find purpose and pleasure and peat moss. Peat moss will help you to stay moist and rejuvenant instead of drying out in the desert where many of you find yourselves. Believe in your journey and in the process, and then believe in all of this construct, that the microcosm and the macrocosm are interconnected, that the microbiome within your physiology is connected to the microbiome of the Amazon forest, for example. And as you begin to cleanse your body of the unnecessary detriments, that the Amazon forest will also begin to flourish, regenerate, and regrow. Does that make sense? You are the microcosm of the macrocosm, and the more you care for yourself, tend to your physical, emotional, psychological, and even religious or spiritual needs, within that, when you treat all of you holistically, instead of seeing yourself as parts, you will begin to see the interconnectivity of how food, healthy, nourishing, organic, balanced foods will allow your physicality to heal, but also your emotional body, your psychological body, even your financial body, believe it or not, because it is all so interconnected. And once you relax and release into that kind of a mindset, you will find that life is no longer hard, and it may not even be that challenging. It is just constructed to help you to grow and to change and to morph into what your soul, your spirit team, and your essence came here to be. It is challenging. You did not come with a guidebook or a rule book, and you have to figure it out on your own. And your purpose is different than your neighbors, your children's, or your parents. Find you in this journey. Really find you, and you will begin to sparkle and pop like popcorn kernels as you finally expand into who you were meant to be, because you're no longer contained within this hard outer shell. And the only way that that can happen is through fire, through trials and tribulations. And that is, in some ways, what climate change is here to encourage all of you to explore. What it feels like when you are uncomfortable because your space is too hot, too fiery, too distilled, where the heat is compressed into one singular point instead of spread out over a greater area. That is how popcorn kernels pop open, because of the intense heat somewhere within the energy body, and then you are greater than the sum of the parts. Find yourself through love and admiration, most of all, because your essence desires to be loved and seen and valued and validated above all else. And that is it for today. May the force be with you, and so it is. Namaste.